Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to B3U Podcast, where we burn the fear, break the cycles, and become unstoppable. And today, welcome back, my beautiful sister, Ashley Brown. And today we're here to talk about how we take back our power. And I'll ask my Ashley to come on here and let's just have a conversation about it. Hi, Ash.
Hello.
Love the shirt. Love the shirt. Why am I just now seeing the shirt? The shirt is amazing. But you made that yourself, didn't you?
I added some of them on there. It wasn't enough, so I put some more on there.
No? Okay. So let me ask you, when you hear the phrase talking about giving away your power, what comes to mind? What comes to mind when you think about how you've given away your power?
It's something I always teach my kids. You never allow somebody to know that they got power over you. So how I look at it is I'm showing somebody what it is that can make me tick, what it is that can like break me down or put me so low that they kind of like control me. And I've been teaching, but especially my son, I've been teaching him this for the longest. You don't never allow anybody to know or to be able to see that something that they did made you that mad or it got to you that bad that they now have like permanent space in your brain. Like that's all you thinking about is that. So rent free. Start me up there, okay?
Yeah. Can you share a time when you realized that you gave your power away? I mean, I know it's been many a times. Give me that one example that you can remember where you just lost it.
Oh, just recently. So at my son's job, one of his managers, it's like she was talking to him crazy. But when I'm around, as a whole, hey, Kiki, how you doing? And I realized that me going up there hot, I came in hot, like hot. I walked in Chuck E. Cheese. Everybody's trying to say hi to me. I was like, nope, not you, not you. You move, you right here, outside. Let's go. Like, I felt like because that was my child, that's how I needed to go in there. But after I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Let me calm down because there's too many things that could happen in a situation. One being I can go to jail for child endangerment because I'm whooping somebody's tail up in Chuck E. Cheese or whatever. And then the other, I'll be taken away from my kids. So I'm coming to defend my child, but I'm in here acting a fool. And it kind of, at that particular time, I realized that I allow her to have power over me because while I'm acting a fool, she over in the corner just standing there. So it looks like I'm the one, that's in the wrong. And I'm like, God, I just let this girl, God. And I want to beat her even worse after that.
Yeah. What race was she, may I know?
She was black.
Okay.
She was black. She tried my child and she will never try him again because after I calmed myself all the way down, my boyfriend had to come up there. I calmed myself all the way down. Then I caught myself just extremely calm. And that scared her even more. That I'm just talking to her regular, like, hey, the next time you feel like you wanted this, and that, it took me 6 minutes. It's only going to take me 3 minutes next time. Just explaining to her very calmly that I will break you in half about my child. And she does not know how to take me because I don't let her know if I'm mad, if I'm sad. She knows nothing now. It's always the same face. So I had to take my power back because she had it for a moment now. She had.
And you know what? It's all about like trying to train your brain. I'm going to speak about a little bit about what's going on now at today's age because now the white supremacists, they are on go right now. They got the gold at the ass card right now. And I've been watching a couple of videos. I watched this one video where this young lady and her mother was on a cruise, and she was allowed to go on the upper deck of the ship, and she was authorized to do so, but she didn't have the bracelet that I before. So there was a white couple on that part that realized that they didn't have the band on or whatever, so it was really disrespected and. I mean, was talking about them, trying to get them off. I mean, they went through a series. And to make this long story short, way she handled herself, like this girl could have really went off the way they was just talking about her, like belittling her,
Yeah.
racial comments, like you don't belong up here, and you're kind of, but you can't afford to be up here. It was something to that nature. But she kept her composure the whole entire time because what they were trying to do is get a rise out of her.
Yeah.
And she handled it so professionally. And that's another thing that I would really like to talk about, like for people today, like including me, because I live in a predominantly white area. And every day that I'm doing things in the community, and some people are rude or disrespectful, and I have to say to myself, "Don't do it. Don't do it."
Yeah, talk to yourself. I'm telling you.
They want the nigga to come. They
Yes,
want the nigga part.
that's
They
what they
want
want.
you. They
They want that angry black woman.
they want you to be that angry black woman to act a nigger, as they say. And
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? And nigger just really means ignorant person. So I
Yeah.
don't put a color on the word. So they wanted that. They want sometimes that angry black woman. But what I would say to people out here that look at some of these, figure out another way to handle ignorance. I look at another way to handle ignorance. You want me to act a certain way, the mad black woman, but instead I come back with some intelligence. I come back to let them know that, hey, I'm just as intelligent and I deserve and I have every right to be standing in the same space that you're standing in because I worked my way to get here. So that's one thing about thinking. I think that's like the top thing
Yeah.
that keeps a lot of people cool today about not acting like they expect us to act. And I applaud the people of color because they're doing it. There's a lot of people who's doing it. There's a lot of people I've seen a lot of videos where airplanes where it was a woman, a black woman that was being disrespected, and the white man did not know that there was a big black man, and he just kind of picked him up by his shirt and sat him down in the seat. Now, so hey, I mean, but we just have to pick and choose when is the best time,
Yeah.
or not when is the best time, but learn that when things and struggles come upon us, how are we going to handle them without giving away so much of our power where we lose ourselves. And I know that some of the examples where we give away our power is people pleasing.
Whew. So
go ahead.
With that, maybe this is where people call me mean or whatever, or maybe it's the Leo in me or whatever, but I have never really cared about what somebody else thought about me. So I've never tried to be that people pleaser, but on the flip side of that, I'm always the one that wants to make sure that everybody else is okay first. So I don't know if that's considered a people pleaser, but in my head, I don't really think it is.
No.
But
I will go ahead. Let me tell you, since you're not a people pleaser. You're not a people pleaser. A people pleaser is me. And now from where I was. I had a big old group of girlfriends, of sisters. Then I just had this.
You be taking in strays.
Look, that's me. That's me because my whole thing, and now that I'm starting to realize it was trauma from my past that made me into the people pleaser. Yeah. Always wanting to, are you okay? Are you all right? Do you need anything? Here, let me be your friend. Let me show you love, because I realize that I'm trying to please these people to show them how good of a person I am.
Yeah, and then a lot of the times you see pieces of yourself in somebody, and it's like, well, nobody tried to help me. Let me try to help them.
Help somebody else. Yeah.
Them. And it's like, we can't fix other people. We try, but a lot of the time trying to fix other people really makes it worse for you.
Break it down.
It's helping them, but in the meantime, all of their weight is like getting put on you. And it's like, God, I'm trying to help them. I'm making it worse on myself because now I'm remembering when I was in this place.
Mm-hmm. And then what happens once you get them there?
You get them there, they good, and now you back to.
Yeah. And they looking at you. You know
Like,
that
what's
you
wrong with
going
you?
into they done got what they needed from you. Now you all out of energy, busted and
Yeah,
disgusted, and you need
drain.
some help. And they
Ain't got
ghost.
nothing for you.
Ain't got
Not
nothing
even a
for you.
5-minute phone call to see how you.
Not not even a 2 second. I'll break it down to a 2 second phone call to say, "Hey sis, how you doing? Everything good? Haven't heard from me."
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
people pleasing people. Some people will drain you. They get all that they can from you, and
Leeches.
then you
Leeches.
look around for the help, and nobody is there. Now
Yeah.
you have some, friends or family members that you don't have to talk to all the time, but you can pick it right back up and say, "Hey, how you doing? What's been going
Yeah.
on?" Now that's fine. You know, I will give another example of giving your power away, and I think one of those examples is staying silent out of fear. What do you got? That.
Woo!
Well, come on now, because somebody needs this help. Somebody needs this deliverance, because
So
this is a serious topic, right?
it's like it's almost like a toxic trait that you possess and don't realize that you possess it, because it's one of them things. Like, I'll take a relationship, for instance. You're in a relationship that you got so many things that you dislike about it, but you don't want that person to get mad at you by saying something to them. So you sit there and it's like, well, I guess it's not that bad. And you suffering in silence, you draining, you just walking around like a zombie, and that other person is, they diddy rock, like, extremely happy while y'all out in public. That person is, and you
you
like,
know, you know,
it
talk
just looks
about it.
crazy. But I I'm not gonna lie, I did that for a long time, and then it took us getting into that particular relationship. It took us getting into an argument, me saying that stuff, and then he's like, "Why you just didn't tell me?" I'm like, what? Like, what the? I'm upset because it's like, oh, that's all I had to do was just tell you. And I'm telling you, and it just, after opening up and saying what my problem was, I ain't had the problem since. And it's like, that's all I had to do. And I'm sitting here suffering in silence. I am sitting here like, you know how sometimes us as women, we go through these whole scenarios in our head. We just made up a whole month worth of stuff in your head. Ain't nothing ever happened. And it's like you're just piling it onto what you already have going on, when all you got to do is say, hey, I don't like that you don't say good morning to me in the mornings or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And it'll change like that.
The power of your voice, the power of the tongue is a powerful thing. It is powerful. I'm going to go and say that I was staying silent out of fear from a childhood trauma. My older cousin was the first to take my virginity, and I didn't understand. I think I was under the age of 12, and because he was so mean and like really scary, you're like, and I'll go as far as say I think I was maybe about, I don't know, I had to be about 8. I was very young. And when you go through those situations and somebody, and that's the kind of, people that I want to help to, young children, young people who have been made by fear to silence themselves so they don't say anything. They don't say anything, and then the cycle just keeps going, and you keep being afraid. That's why I raised my children to tell them, don't you ever.
Everything. Tell me everything.
You tell me everything. If somebody tells you that you better not tell because I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I let my children know I'm a warrior. Can't nobody do nothing to me. You tell me that you going to see what I do. So it's all about breaking those cycles of fear. Staying quiet. When we need to speak up. Some things we should be quiet on. That's where sometimes, like I said, know the difference when to take back your power or how to take back your power. You don't always have to be aggressive. And then silence is not always a good thing, to be silent. Speak your truth. And then the other thing is living by others' expectations. Now we military now. Come on, Sergeant First Class. Living up to others' expectations. I know we could talk about that just from.
Oh my goodness. being military was like extremely hard. Being a black female in the
Oh,
military, and on top of that, the type of female I am, like you ain't about to just tell me anything, okay?
hmm
That is not gonna work with me, and you ain't about to get crazy with me because the energy you give me, trust the please
hmm
understand. I'm gonna times it by 4 and give it back to you. Don't play with me. I don't care who you are. Don't play with me. But it's like I've been told before that, like when I was a drill sergeant, I had a first sergeant literally tell me, he was like, hey, we need you to be like like the pit bull. I'm like, are you the breeder or something? Like, what you mean you need me to be a pit bull? Why I need to be the pit bull? It's all these other female drill sergeants, but I was the only black female drill sergeant at the time. So it's like, because I'm the black one, I got to be the pit bull. I got to be the enforcer. I got to be the rah, rah, rah. But that's just not how I was. Like, I'm one of them. I was one of them drill sergeants that I would yell sometimes, but sometimes it was so much easier to just walk behind a private, talk real low behind and scare the living ish out of them by talking calm.
You
I
can
didn't have to. I didn't have
attract
to do
more
all that
bees,
extra
but honey.
jumping up and down and screaming.
Mhm.
But it's like
Attract
they
more bees.
expected it because I'm only 5'4", so I'm not that tall, but they was expecting it to have the little angry black woman's
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
get out of here.
Same for me. I think I was, as a leader, I never wanted to be looked at like I was.
Right.
So for me, it's like, you not carrying. I was so many lieutenants and commanders, majors, whatever, female people carrying their stuff, and I'm like, what? So sometimes the expectation in the military kind of look like, uh, you're a woman.
Yeah.
You're a woman, so therefore you're weak.
Yep.
Therefore, you can't do the same thing that a male can do. And I think that's why a lot of our female soldiers now take that challenge and they're going into Ranger school. They're they're becoming Marines because I think some of us get sick of that expectation. So we're a woman, so we can't do what a man do. I've seen females rock a test better than the male soldiers. So I always was like, I didn't want anybody to just carry my bag or, help me through something. I worked hard to get to the ranks that I worked through because I wanted that expectation to be a woman, not to be with me on me because I was a soldier before I even joined the military. And
Right.
so this is why we have to do like reclaim our power. We need to learn how to reclaim our power. And for me, reclaiming my power meant standing, standing up when no one's looking, reclaiming my power. Me, I would say the biggest thing that when I learned to reclaim my power was 2023. And this is what I talk about how, and I'm not ashamed to say that I went to mental health. I went to a PTSD therapy and I reclaimed my power because I realized that all those things of past and of childhood is what stole my power and the reason why I stayed silent, the reason why I didn't, do a lot of the things that I wanted to do is because out of fear. Today, I'm not going to say that, hey, I'm completely healed. I still run through fear, but what I learned is that I have the power to speak to that fear and move it out of my way. So, what did reclaiming your power look like for you?
Um, whew, so many
Is
emotions.
it a moment that you like I said, I went to therapy and learned where my trauma came from. That gave me the strength and the healing. There has to be a story where you realize that I'm taking my power back. You have no more control.
I think the best example I can give is with an ex I had. Once I realized it was affecting my son, and it was affecting his behavior, it was affecting his happiness. I was like, yeah, hell no, I'm taking everything back. I'm getting rid of him because he was toxic as I don't know what, and I'm getting back to being me. I'm not getting ready to just be mad about something, not saying nothing, then walk around the house, pouty face, mad, whatever the case being, and that energy blows off to my son. Like I'm not doing that. Once I saw that he was not happy, he wasn't in a space of just being his regular self. Yeah, no, I had to take it back because it wasn't just ruining me, it was messing with my child too.
Which is, if anybody, everybody knows you, your children are number one in your life.
Okay, don't.
Always, always have been, and I applaud you for that. Children will do it too, and as everyone knows, I have 5 children and 9 in total, and that's another. That's you're right. That's another reason why. And my grandchildren, I got 18 of them. So it's like I look at them like I am the example. We are the example for our children. Because if you don't, then your son thinks that it's okay to do
Right.
this.
That was the other thing. I'm like, yeah, nah, because he ain't about to grow up, be no to hell. And my
Yeah.
daughter, nah, she ain't about to see this. At the time, she was just a baby, but hell nah, she ain't about to see it either. Mm-mm.
And that is good for women who are out here being abused. Okay, you don't want to stay in a toxic relationship or stay a certain way. All you have to do is just look at your children and say, what do I want for them? Because
Right.
again, Ashley, me and you, we can talk all day about how to take back your power, how some of the things, but it takes listen to the audience, you know, and E3 is about guiding people through their traumas, breaking through the pain, breaking the cycles, burning through the past, becoming unstoppable. But we can have these talks, but to be realistic, it really takes you. It takes you. You have to make up in your head, in your mind, what you
Yeah.
want for you, or else it won't work. It won't work. It won't work.
Uh-uh.
We've all been through suicide. We've all been through the toughest and roughest situations. But
Yeah.
I would say that it took me to say, Brie, I want more. Brie, I want more. And for I want to give you guys some steps on that for who is listening right now. I want to give you some steps how to reclaim your power. And let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries. Boundaries is one way that you can claim your power. Set some boundaries.
Yeah.
Give me an example of a boundary that you say how to do.
Well, I've never had a problem with saying no. I think it's the way you say no to be completely, 100% sure. Like, it's not just well, I don't think so. It's just a flat out, no, I'm not going to do that. No, that's not happening. No, it's not going to go this way or whatever. You got to be confident in your saying no.
Okay.
Other boundaries. People have to know when enough is enough. People have to know, like, my peace is more important than this whole situation. I mean, my peace is more important than the craziness you talking about, the craziness you doing. So people understanding that you have to come first in your own life. You got to choose yourself first before choosing other people, because you get, like, what is this, self-love, self-care, self-help? You have to have all of that in order to be able to have it for anyone else. In order to love somebody else properly, in order to care for somebody else properly, you got to have that first for yourself. If you can't have that for yourself, how in the world you know how to do it for somebody else?
And the boundaries for me, is same thing. It's just setting that um, that boundary right there to say, hey, these are the things that I don't like from the start. Even when meeting girlfriends or meeting new friends, like, well, these are the things I do. These are the things I don't do. Like, hey, I'm cool if you're smoking weed, but hey, that's just not something I do. Setting the boundaries, or for people who are alcoholics. I deal with a lot of people who are alcoholics. And if you're trying to fight alcohol, listen, you don't go out to the bar with friends.
Right, right.
And who cares what they say? What I'm saying? Because you're corny, you're lame, you're this, you're that. Well, I'll be what you say I'm be, but I know that I have all alcohol problems, so I'm not about to go to the bar.
Yeah, think
And what
what you
kind of
think, but
friends?
I'm learning how to deal with what I'm dealing with. So if you don't want to be a part of that,
Exactly. You
bye.
know, being a married woman, marriage to me, now, marriage is different to everybody. Some married couples don't mind their significant other going to a strip club. In the Charles household, that's a no. That is a no. That is a no, because I lived in that realm. While I worked in that realm, I know how easy temptation is. Yeah, heck, my name was Sin, baby. I hang from that pole. that was that was my younger days. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
thunder coming through.
for me, shut up. For me, I know how to. That's another thing. Learning to say no, because I know my limit. I'm not going to put
with that though. I don't care. Go to a strip club. You touch anything, or anything here touches anything, on popping, I'm on the way. Best believe, understanding. No, I don't mind, because I feel like, not trying to sound vain enough, but I feel like I got all my man's attention. So
yeah, let me tell you something. I look at the entertainment world. Cardi B, beautiful. Beyonce, beautiful. These men have the most beautiful women, and they still want Becky with good hair. I don't
it's not all about how they look though. Like, how are they at home when their relationships? How are they? You got Cardi B and Beyonce both said they don't cook.
Okay.
I don't cook. I don't clean. Let me come on. What
okay. Well, you know what? I digress. I'm gonna back out from that. But I say I protect myself at strip clubs. And I tell my husband, I'm very transparent. Look, you get me in the kid, things are swinging and I'm looking, then that opens the mind. That opens the mind to let things in.
temptation?
And I know that I'm a beautiful woman. I know my husband loves me without a shadow of a doubt. But if you're going in there and you're watching naked women, then I must be doing something wrong. Then because I don't understand why you have the need to want to do that. So I just say,
if they're not a frequent flyer, you know what I'm saying? If it's a thing like once,
okay, that all right.
Now frequent flyer, now time out, hold on, buy your pole for the house. I got you. Throw your money in me and I'm keeping it. Don't ask me.
Look, I tell my husband I'll bring out some of them old outfits. Look, that's what you want. And look, I could be anybody you want me to be. I throw on a red wig.
I'll put some up there. I got the millions of hats. Don't let me
So that's just my thing. And when people or my girlfriends ask me to go, I just don't. I just don't. Just saying no. And another way is choosing purpose over purpose over approval, and daily practices that reinforce self. So I will say that for that one right there that's an everyday thing for me. Every day I wake up, I am practicing, because I was always looked at or told that I was or this or that. So when somebody says that, oh, you're so beautiful, you have this good skin, I'm like, what they looking at? And then I say, hey, back up, wait a minute now.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. I am beautiful. Thank you for that. Because I had this thing like, oh, I'm not beautiful, don't say that. Don't say that, and then so daily practices just to reinforce, to know your self-worth. Don't let anybody take from you what they didn't give you in the first place. And I teach that amongst my family. Stop letting people take things from you that they didn't give in the first place. But the reason why we allow them to take it is because we don't know who we are. Come on, somebody. Look, we're going to have church in a minute. And because if you reinforce your self-worth, if you have a significant other that doesn't want to rise, I just told one of my daughters the other day, I told her, I said, if you're looking for a soulmate, if you're looking for a partner, because she tends to find herself in relationships where she's always trying to bring the man up. Well,
Yeah.
first of all, if you get with somebody, that's what I mean. Coming to the table knowing what it is first. Ask questions.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're out there and you're dating and you're meeting someone, you need to see, because you got the table. You need to see what somebody is bringing to that table. Okay, you got the bread, the eggs, the meat, cheese. I got the table. I got silverware. What are you bringing? Don't set yourself up to where you have these high expectations of
Yeah.
someone when they, not to say that the person, is a bad person or the wrong person. It's just that, what's wrong with being friends? If that person is not on your level and able to add to you and they come in taken away, drop the mic.
Yeah.
Drop the mic. You don't have to do, if somebody is not, because I know me and you, we've been through some things in our relationship. And I'm not about to let nobody come in and destroy what I built.
Exactly.
And when I met my husband, he was a warrant officer. So it was like, I knew what I wanted. Like, hey, I knew that I wanted my credit score to be at a certain level. I wanted my bank account to be at a certain level. And then you come to the table. So that's just some of the things that people really need to realize when they're out here in the dating realm, in the workforce, all of that. Just boundaries, learning to say no, choosing your purpose over approval, daily practice of self and self-worth. Because if you don't think more of yourself, nobody is going to do it for you. Nobody is going to do it for you at all. So burn the fear, break the cycle, become unstoppable. And I would just say that we talked a little bit about the things that we had to burn to make it through, the cycles that we had to break. Let's talk about who we are becoming now. Throughout all the things, Ashley, that you went through in your life, and we talked, I'm sure those have seen your story before. And that was just, really the surface of you explaining how you went through your childhood trauma with losing your mother. So, from all the things that you have went through now, who are you becoming now that you've reclaimed your power? Do you see a better you?
I see a stronger me. I see a more focused me. I see more driven side of myself. At times, I'm like, I know I can do this, but ain't nobody gonna support it or whatever the case being. But now it's, I know I can do this. You don't support me, oh well, somebody else will. That's how I'm looking at it now. I'm not worried about if somebody's gonna support me. I'm worried about, do I have enough done for people to support me?
There you go. Hello. That's good. So that popcorn drive coming up.
Right.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That is one way. I would say, for me, now that I'm becoming, walking into my purpose, the way that I've reclaimed my power, the way that I will say I'm reclaiming the power is every day I'm waking up telling fear, you don't belong here. That's my biggest thing. My biggest thing is fear over death, fear over, even with this podcast. So people are not going to watch it or what I'm saying. And you know as well, I now have gotten to the point where I don't care who's watching or not. I care about the people who need the help, who hear the message.
Right.
The message is that throughout all that we have been through, I will say for me, God is the number one being who has kept me throughout all my trials and tribulations. And that's the purpose for the platform, to let those know that without God, without that spirit, the Holy Spirit that lives in us all, if we just tap into that, we are some powerful, powerful, powerful people. And that's how I'm reclaiming my power today. So we are going to definitely come back. Ashley, I thank you for coming on the show and partnering with me and talk about how we could take our power back. And we're going to hear a lot about this. And I can't wait for the release of my book, The Big Take Back. That is my message. That is the message. Because today we need to teach people, to guide people how to take back their power. Take that power back, keep it, and keep moving on. It ain't always going to be good days, but just learning to be in control of ourselves and of the power that lives within us. We will definitely become unstoppable and excel in life. So thank you for tuning into today's episode. Remember, you don't have to live powerless. God gave you authority to rise, reclaim, and become unstoppable. Thank you for another segment of Be Free and Recharge.
Bye.